Darkness fell upon the menzil of Ibn Jad the Sheik. Beneath the small fitting tent where his captors had left him, Tarzan still struggled with the bonds that secured his wrists, but the tough camel leather withstood even the might of his giant thews. At times he lay listening to the night noises of the jungle, many of them noises that no other human ear could have heard, and always he interpreted each correctly. He knew when Numa passed, and Sheeta the leopard, and then from afar, and so faintly that it was but the shadow of a whisper, there came down the wind the trumpeting of a bull elephant. Without the bed of Ibn Jad, Etijah, the sheik's daughter, loitered, and with her was Zayd. They stood very close to one another, and the man held the maiden's hands in his. "Tell me, Etijah," he said, "that you love no other than Zayd." "How many times must I tell you that?" whispered the girl. "And you do not love Fad?" insisted the man. "Bella, no!" she ejaculated. "Yet your father gives the impression that one day you will be Fad's. My father wishes me to be the harem of Fad, but I mistrust the man. I could not belong to one whom I neither loved nor trusted." "I too mistrust Fad," said Zayd. "Listen, Adijah, I doubt his loyalty to thy father, and not his alone, but another whose name I durst not even whisper. Upon occasions I have even seen them muttering together when they thought that there were no others about." The girl nodded her head. "I know. It is not necessary even to whisper the name to me. I hate him even as I hate Fad." "But he is of thine own kin," the youth reminded her. "What of that? Is he not only my father's brother? If that bond does not hold him loyal to Ibn Jad, who hath treated him well, why should I pretend loyalty for him? Nay, I think him a traitor to my father, but Ibn Jad seems blind to the fact. We are a long way from our own country, and if aught should befall the sheik, Tulloch, being next of blood, would assume the sheikly duties and honours. I think he hath won Fad's support by a promise to further his suit for me with Ibn Jad, for I have noticed that Tulloch exerts himself to praise Fad in the hearing of my father. And perhaps a division of the spoils of the Grazoo upon the treasured city," suggested Zayd. "It is not unlikely," replied the girl. "And, Allah, what was that?" The Bedouins, seated about the coffee fire, leaped to their feet. The black slaves, startled, peered out into the darkness from their rude shelters. Muskets were seized. Silence fell again upon the tense, listening menzil. The weird, uncanny cry that had unnerved them was not repeated.
"Billah!"
ejaculated Ibn Jad.
"It came from the mists of the menzil, and it was the voice of a beast, where there are only men and a few domestic animals."
"Could it have been—" The speaker stopped as though fearful that the thing he would suggest might indeed be true.
"But he is a man, and that was the voice of a beast," insisted Ibn Jad. "It could not have been he."
"But he is a Nazrani," reminded Fad. "Perhaps he has league with Shaitan."
"And the sound came from the direction where he lies bound in a hydra," observed another. "Come," said Ibn Jad, "let us investigate."
With muskets ready, the Arab, lighting the way with paper lanterns, approached the hydra where Tarzan lay. Fearfully, the foremost looked within.
"He is here," he reported.
Tarzan, who was sitting in the center of the tent, surveyed the Arab somewhat contemptuously. Ibn Jad pressed forward.
"You heard a cry?"
he demanded of the ape-man. "Yes, I heard it. Camest thou, Sheik Ibn Jad, to disturb my rest upon so trivial an errand, or camest thou to release me?"
"What manner of cry was it? What did it signify?"
asked Ibn Jad. Tarzan of the Apes smiled grimly.